crossing it is the Ten of Cups. And well, what the hell? This is not really a challenge now, is it? It's one of the most beautiful cards in the deck that represents a perfect family portrait, perfect contentment. Some people don't really believe too much in this card. I wouldn't blame them because it is a very beautiful, perfect picture. It's when there are absolutely no bad feelings happening. It's when both husband and wife or partners who aren't married are happy with one another. They have absolutely no complaints. They're extremely successful, and their kids are just as happy and have absolutely no complaints and aren't even, like their happiness isn't even related to the happiness of their parents. They're just happy-go-lucky kids right here. So this is a challenge that is crossing your Knight of Cups, and it could be that this Knight of Cups comes with such enthusiasm into your life that you might find it hard to believe. You might find it extremely hard to believe that they are serious about the love that they're presenting you, because when someone does that, especially in this day and age, and I think you guys might know what I'm talking about, we're living in a hookup culture time where it's less about dating and less about getting to know one another and more about hookups and all these one-night stands. I'm not a fan, personally. I mean, sometimes maybe it can be fun, but usually these things are fleeting, and some of us want more. Some of us want more than that. So when more does come our way, we can get a little bit skeptical, thinking that maybe this is someone who's pulling our leg. I say this because, again, a lot of people, when they look at this card, they find it a hard time thinking that something like this exists. This is a family portrait. This is when everything is fine and dandy. And when are things ever completely fine and dandy in a relationship? But this is your challenge, perhaps, to realize that this is possible for you. Let's see how the reading progresses. In your mental thoughts is this Queen of Pentacles. It is an earth energy, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Someone who's extremely insightful and intelligent. She's luxurious and wealthy and sometimes over-analytical. This might be your energy, representing whether or not you are analyzing this huge offering of love that's come your way in present times, and doing so using your wits, and you're being smart about it. Because you've probably played this game before, where you're like, I see what you're doing there, and I'm not going to fall for it so quickly. It's not to say that this person or these people aren't doing it with their whole heart. It's more that, like, we can't trust everyone. We can't always trust people. And because people just simply gravitate to you, you're like a magnet. You tend to attract so many people, and not everyone is going to be the best person for you. So you are the Queen of Pentacles from your years of experience and knowing better and knowing what is appropriate. There's a time and place for everything, and you know when to call bluff on someone. In your foundation is the Eight of Cups. Well, Eight of Cups showed up a lot in last month's readings for so many signs, because it is a time to purge and let go of people, places, and things that just aren't serving us anymore. And again, with this discussion of Saturn in your sign, the Saturn return, that's basically what Saturn does, basically. It just takes away things that aren't going to be good for you anymore in the coming future, and it's actually up to you to see this. So it's not like Saturn forces this. No one can force this on anyone. It's more like presenting you with certain blocks and obstacles that just keep appearing your way, and it might get to a point where you're wondering, like, whether or not the universe is conspiring against you. But it's when these things happen, they're just there to basically tell you that you either have to learn how to overcome these obstacles to get to your goals, if those goals are really worth it, or to realize that a wall's been put up there, and if it's something that you've been struggling with for such a long time, it might not be worth it anymore, and it's time for you to move on to newer projects, newer places, newer situations, newer relationships. So many things, even though there's absolutely nothing wrong with these cups, in the sense that once upon a time, everything was good, everything was great. But everything does have to come to an end, Saggy. So you've already realized this, and because why this is in your foundation, which is also a bit of a past card, and you've already begun to walk away. So the rest of the reading kind of lies on this card, rests on this foundation card here. And when you walk away from situations, even if it's really difficult, when you walk away from a person as well, you make room for offerings like this. As a more past card is this Knight of Pentacles, and again, more earth energy here. It's hard for me to say, again, if this is just how you were exhibiting yourself in the past, because while I feel as though you are taking on the Queen of Pentacles character in your mind and dealing with your present situation in a way that she would, I'm not so sure if this this Knight of Pentacles resonates to me in the same way. I feel, I don't know, so you guys are going to have to tell me if this is right. This present offering with the Knight of Cups here could be an earth sign's doing. It could be a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo who had spent quite a while wondering whether or not it was the right time to make this offer of love to you. They took their sweet time, because that's usually, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight of all the knights in the tarot. He moves so slowly on his horse while he's pretty much contemplating how much value and assistance he or she can provide to you. Usually it's a he, and doesn't want to mess up in the process. So he's a very cautious figure. He's a lot more cautious than the other knights that tend to move far too quickly. But at the same time, he does have his disadvantages, in the sense that he can be a bit too slow and he can overthink, because again, knights overdo and over exaggerate everything. So he might, if there was a huge delay in this person walking into your life, it could be as a result of them just thinking about things, taking time to think about things and analyze things, because this can also be a Virgo person, and Virgos love to analyze. And if it's a Capricorn person, Cappies love to work really hard at what they do, or what they do in life in general, not just at work. And hard work takes thought, takes time. And when it comes to a Taurus, they might have just been extremely stubborn in the past and were not willing to make a decision, but they have, and they were moving slowly, and now they've come to you more as this Knight of Cups with a lot of enthusiasm. That's what I'm getting with this card. Immediate future card here is Major Arcana Strength, which is also the Leo card. So it seems as though the combination of events that are happening right now in the present time, with this Knight of Pentacles coming into your life perhaps and making a grand gesture of love, and the 10 of Cups crossing this is really nice energy to have. It's quite fortunate energy to have. And while you may be thinking about things, you're doing so wisely, you're doing it in a very mature manner, that's only going to bring you good results. The combination of these things, which is also allowing you or encouraging you more to move away, by the way, from a person. It can be now, if this is a love offering, then you've moved away from one person or two people who've simply caused you too much pain in the past. All of this is leading you to feel a lot more strength and fortitude. And you know what? I'm even getting this feeling of like that, like you're so confident right now that it might even be turning you on. You're like, wow, this is nice, all this love, and look at me finally getting over things from the past, or on my way there to getting over this and being a lot more mature and handling things very, very intelligently. Can be a bit of a turn off. Maybe I spoke too soon, but I'd like to remain optimistic. Because how you're coming to this reading is as this Five of Cups here. It's a cup of disappointment. A cup of disappointment. It's a card of disappointment. It's a card of loss. But not total loss at all. And definitely nothing that lasts for too long. It's just a person who is mourning the loss of these cups, actually. Although here, this person is walking away from 8 cups. This person is specifically looking at 3 cups that they've lost. It could be 3 people that you've said goodbye to, or 3 people who have said goodbye to you. Can go both ways, really. While not realizing that if you turn around to a more present to future state, you'll realize that you've still got these 2 beautiful cups that are standing there waiting for you to notice them. So really, a lot of walking away here and some sort of dwelling on it a little bit, which is normal, it's natural. We all do it, of course, when it's not easy for us to say goodbye. It's not easy for other people to say goodbye. Even if they're not good for us, it's still going to hurt a little bit. You are still going to be disappointed. Of course, you are suffering a loss. But it's never ever a total loss because you still have these 2 of Cups. And in this situation, by the way, this person knows what they're doing. They are fully aware that they're walking away and leaving behind these cups that used to be full. They're walking away, and I feel that they are looking for this one missing cup. Absolutely. This is in your environment. This is earth-shattering energy. It's a groundbreaking energy. It is really, this has the ability to turn your world upside down, inside out. So this is not a very minor loss in the end. This is actually something that's affecting you quite heavily, with this being in your foundation. But to reassure you that this is a good thing is this Tower, because the Tower it's a beautiful card. It's just basically setting you up for new things. It's a card that tells you that you need to vacate your building now. You need to vacate all these ideas that you've had of people and realize that while some people around you aren't willing to grow and pick up the pace and mature themselves, you are. You are willing to grow and become more mature. That's what we have to do. We have to become more responsible with time and with age. I'm not saying that we should let go of the inner kid in us. No, absolutely not. It's very healthy for us to be in touch with our inner child. Absolutely. But I'm getting this sensation here that these 2 people, or who are leaving, vacating the Tower, are people who are willing to do the work. They are willing to move away from a more immature period of their life. And if these are not people, these are ideas and how the belief that you held behind the idea. One idea and your interpretation of the idea, basically. But I'm getting the sense that this involves maturity. It's just something that needs to be done. And you need to go find your tribe and find your pack, the right kind of people who are on your wavelength, who are vibrating on the same level you are. So if we are forced to do this sometimes, it's because we can't see eye to eye with these people anymore, and they certainly don't see eye to eye with us anymore. And this is something that can happen very abruptly. Like, it can feel like it happens overnight, but this is something that actually takes a long time behind the scenes. It is being orchestrated without our, like, unconsciously. But one day we wake up and we just say, well, it's not working anymore. It hasn't been working for a long time. And if you get this feeling of disappointment, it can also be because you wasted so much time, like, clinging on to these people because you didn't want to lose them. Even spending a portion of the time blaming yourself in the process, thinking that you were the cause and you were the problem, and maybe this is why people are leaving. Why are people leaving? But you know now, or you're gonna know very soon, you know, how strong you are and how mature you've been and how much this was frickin' needed. This is amazing. So this is, even though this is quite abrupt energy with strength, also coming up in the immediate future, this isn't something you can't handle at all. This is something that you're gonna glide through. It's like we have the whole frickin' family here. What's going on? The King of Pentacles is in your hopes or fears department. And now, because the King and the Queen and the Knight have showed up in your reading, I'm like starting to wonder now whether or not this Tower situation has something to do with a breakup of an extremely important relationship, partnership, possibly marriage,